answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Chairman Petrie and Chairman Harkins and members of the committee, I want to thank you for having a hearing on this legislation. And Chairman Petrie, you're right. I think it's something that we actually have a bill that you can vet. And I guess what I'd like to do is spend a couple minutes telling you why I'm here and what got me to this position. In 2015, Chairman Adolph, chairman of the Appropriations Committee, gathered all the Republican members together and put together a list of possible revenue options and said, hey, if we're not going to do broad-based taxes, how are we going to get additional revenue in Pennsylvania? I decided to dig real deeply into video gaming terminals. And I don't think we can move forward without saying that the casinos in Pennsylvania have contributed immensely to many counties in our state. But there is opportunity to do more, as Representative Sturla said. Some of the things that I've learned over the last 2 years in digging into this is that we really need to look into everything that the casinos say. What does a partnership really look like? And diversification can be used to capture the current untapped market share. Now, in the packet of information that I gave you, there's been a couple letters that have been sent out over the years, one from the casinos, one from the casino and the racetrack near my legislative district. And it's been challenging for me. At one point, I got very upset because we as members of the General Assembly have a lot of issues in front of us all the time. And we rely on information that's mailed to us or told to us to be factual and not misleading. So I took a couple of these letters and I went to because they said that VGTs had such a dire impact on the casinos in Illinois. And I took time to go to Illinois, and also took a lot of hours going through the Illinois Gaming Board website. And I've provided some material to you. After the letter from the Meadows, you'll see one of the reasons that there was some cannibalization is not because of VGTs that already exist in Pennsylvania in a legal form, but look at what the casinos have done. They're building casinos all over our borders. Is that going to have, or has it had an impact on us? Logically, you would say it would. A little further back in the packet, I provided a summary of the revenue that Illinois has had since their inception with the casinos, riverboat gambling, in 1991. In the letters that we've received over the years, touting how horrible VGTs would be, it talked about revenue reductions since 2007, when VGTs, implying that VGTs were in operation in Illinois at that time. VGTs were not passed until 2009 in Illinois. The first VGT did not accept money until 2012, and that was October 2012. So the first full year was 2013. There have been significant drops, as you can see on this report, from admissions to revenue prior to that. And there was an uptick in 2012 of gross receipts from the casinos, and that's because Rivers Casino opened at that time. I've also provided data in the packet and a little history on Rivers, and you can see since VGTs have been in existence in Illinois, Rivers Casino in 2012 had $416 million in revenue, $427 million in gross receipts at the end of 2016. So the point of all this is that there are various things that impact market share and impact revenues for whether VGTs or casinos. And the final page in the handout that I provided to you as far as my written testimony is a comparison of the Pennsylvania slots revenue to the Illinois slots revenue. And you can see the years that our slots revenue went down, so did Illinois. If you read the trade journals and the financial reports on the gaming industry, there are years where there are downticks. There are years where there's a recession. For example, Illinois implemented a smoking ban in their casinos, and that was a significant reduction in revenue. Illinois implemented a admissions fee to all the patrons at their casinos. Obviously that money is going to local share, but that has an impact as well. Chairman Sturla talked about diversification, And I think it's really critical as well that we diversify. You know, if you listen to the iGaming hearing, I believe this committee and the Senate had a joint hearing on that. I tuned in from home in Pittsburgh and was watching it, and I swear they were talking about VGTs when I heard them talking about the need for diversification of their revenue. So if casinos are looking to diversify, whether it's diversifying casinos on our borders or diversifying by implementing iGaming at a much lower tax rate, I think it's important for us as representatives that we look at diversifying as well. And that gets us back to really looking at what is a partnership. You know, some have said over the years that we're partners with the casinos. You know, I personally disagree with that. In my opinion, we're partners with our constituents. If there is a partnership, if I'm going to agree with you and say there is a partnership, then I say that we're the majority partner. You know, we voted. I was one of the votes to let casinos come into Pennsylvania in 2004. And as a majority partner, we should not be steamrolled. If we had a partnership with the casinos, I don't think we'd let our partner cannibalize ourselves by building casinos in bordering states. I don't think that's how partners treat each other. So I think we need to start treating our budgets and our Pennsylvania taxpayers as if they were our true partners. I think this is a great opportunity for diversification. I think competition's good. I think what we've seen in some other states is it's really enabled the budgets of the states to grow from a revenue standpoint, and it's also, I think, forced some casinos to invest in their properties. The final thing I have is a chart, and it's the revenue that the Pennsylvania Lottery has received since 1999 by game all the way through 2016. And if you look at some of the studies, the biggest threat to the lottery would be the instant tickets. In 2005, we passed slots in Pennsylvania. The first slot, I think, operated in 2007. So let's go to 2007, where instant tickets were $1.7 billion. The close of 2016, it was 2.7, almost $2.8 billion. So we've had really a pilot program in Pennsylvania of expanding gaming. And I remember, I think it was Representative Paul Clymer at the time was saying how slots were going to devastate the lottery. In looking at this report, that devastation has grown to a tune of an additional $1.1 billion in revenue on the instant ticket line. If you drop all the way down to the bottom, you'll see an increase of from $3 billion total to almost $4.15 billion. So, Mr. Chairman, that's some information I just wanted to get into the hands of the members. Some of the things that I've found over the last 2 years, and the final piece is this just happened last week. The raid, state police announced results of an illegal gaming raid where they confiscated 215 illegal gaming devices in Pennsylvania, which really just accentuates the point that Chairman Sterling made that this is happening in Pennsylvania already. And I thank you for your time.